Hey, Julian here. In this Flagship 101 training number 2, we're gonna explore how to use Flagship and how to play with user context and flags. Let's start with the basics. What's a user context? To take a decision, Flagship needs to know who is your visitor on each request. You can do this by providing all relevant information through the visitor context. This visitor context works with key value, like everything in Flagship. This way, you'll be able to use it as targeting criteria. Don't forget that user context will be reusable as filters in the reporting. Flagship doesn't collect nor track by default who is your user. You're the owner of your data. You have full control over it. What's a flag? To control what should be shown, hide, or modified, Flagship relies on flags. A flag is simply a variable. Its value can change depending on the decision of Flagship and what you've set up in the dashboard. Between us, a flag is also known as a remote variable. Simple but powerful. The whole goal of the flags is to modify something. So each flag should be one modification. With Flagship, you can control remotely multiple flags at the same time. A flag is composed of a key, because a flag needs a name to be invoked, and also a default value, because Flagship doesn't always make a decision to change its value. Flagship is storing thanks to the visitor ID, who saw what. You need to keep it aware of this, especially if you want to track the behavior of your user. This is why you should notify Flagship with a simple request called activate. Without the activate request, you won't be able to track your user in the reporting, so it is major important. Let's take one example, a critical feature, the login page. Let's say you have a login page with multiple providers to log in, Google, Microsoft, or just with a password. Imagine that you want to add a brand new login provider. Login with Apple. This is brand new. Of course, this feature should be available only on Apple devices. Using the user context, as you already know, we can provide this device information to Flagship. Here's an example of user context that you can use with the request. Flagship will take decision based on this information and then return the flags that you already set up. Here's the flag. It is true, so we will display the provider login with Apple for this specific user. Another use case would be to challenge the position and order of all the providers we have in the page. Maybe the login with the password would be the most used at the first position. Maybe Google would be the most used provider or the other way around. Who knows? Well, let's check that with Flagship. To achieve this, we can use a flag per each providers. Each flag can modify their position. This is the most simple way to create multiple variations on the fly. Now, you know how to use flags and user context. You are almost ready. Next, we'll talk about metrics, everything you need to know to follow the performance of your use cases. And see you in the next video.